I practice expressing my thought as much as possible. I try to do this whenever I could. Tell us about your interviews.
I remember being really nervous for my interview. I interviewed at Magdalene College where I had 2 interviews. Actually, I had 2 more interviews at Martin College and one at Street Hook, which is where I'm now. And during this 4 interview, I saw many interesting questions. One really interesting question I saw was a question about cubes and the number of variety a cube has. Well, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, and ever higher dimension. And it didn't stop there. We also discussed how many edges there are in this dimension, and we tried to find a formula for each one of these. I thought it was quite interesting. There were also very hard questions. One particular question I remember is I was asked to sketch the normal distribution, which was like bell curve, and I was asked to sketch its by derivative by I and its derivative as well, so 2 derivatives. That was easy enough, you just sketch it, and then he asked me, do I notice anything about the number of turning points, the number of reds as we go down.
And then notice that is to differentiate each time the number of reds and the number of turning points increased by 1. And then the question was given to me, can you prove the formula is true? And that was really difficult. I was really stupid in the beginning, and actually I didn't know what
But
to
luckily
say.
for me, the interviewer he gave me a prompt. He gave me a hint about some theorem that is really useful for this. I immediately managed to use this hint and then go on to answer the question. I thought I was really scary at first, but really rewarding at the end. Actually, I didn't get anything about my personal statement in the interview, which I thought it wasn't too strange. I suppose the talk it wasn't really interesting at the interviews.
Which aspect appealed the most to the tutors?
I think that interviewers really like to see me struggle through the questions because they want to see how I think, they want to see the pressures in which I go about the questions. So they would really like giving me difficult questions so that I do struggle with it, and they will often give me hints to see if I can cooperate with them if I do to attend the university. To prepare for the interviews, I kept that in mind. I practiced expressing my thoughts as much as possible. I did this by speaking out loud when I'm by myself, answering my questions. I tried to do this whenever I could.
Oxford's mathematics interview preparation. Well, I've also mentioned that I try to speak my talk as much as possible.
Rather than that, I was really keen on solving Maths BMO questions, British Math Olympiad question. I felt like that helped out a lot my problem-solving skills. It gave me a good intuition on how to solve questions, and I think it made me a better problem solver all around. I did. Mock interviews with my teachers, they were quite kind enough to do the sessions with me.
They emphasized that I should be speaking my thought out as much as possible. Even when I was struggling to come up with an answer, they encouraged me time and time again to try to give suggestions as how to solve the problem. For example, maybe we can solve this by induction, even though you are not sure how you will do that, and so on. I did this thing quite often, and I did it about 2 times a week with my teachers. These mock interviews, these other things I've mentioned, I try to keep them on getting in the background as a prepare for in my interviews.